Welcome back. So today we are flying out in the humble F16. I wanted to initially make an F15 video, and admittedly if I'd been recording all day, we would have had lots of F15 videos. Because I flew my F15 out a few times, and we struck a few QRFs and supply bases out in the western part of Egypt. But alas, the front line has moved, and SA-11s have gone up, and my F-15 got shot down when I decided I was going to make a video. So, get fucked me, I guess. So, instead, here we are taking off from Tel Nef, and we're going to head to the front line and pop that SA-11. So I'm sure just about everybody is familiar with the F-16, the world-famous American export light fighter, still heavily employed by our own military. And perhaps light fighter isn't the most accurate term for it, but based off of everything that I've read about its development and the role that it serves in the export market, it certainly feels like a light fighter to me. It is multi-role capable, very capable. It can carry a ton of air-to-ground ordnance. Let's get on the right steer point. And let's actually make sure I put it in the right spot. About correct. We're flying from up here in Israel, and we're going to be headed out about here in these SAM fields. See, when I was flying my strikes earlier, we were hitting all of this area around Alexandria. But at the time, most of the combat was going on up here at the ports. Since then, the front line's moved, and now there's a lot more action down here. And since a bothersome little SA-11 decided that it had my name on it in my F-15, we're going out to get revenge. So, we're probably going to climb steadily up to, I don't know, about 35,000 feet. And we'll see if we can't pick up anything with our harm pod and blow them away. Now, I should let you know that I don't actually have very much experience using the harm pod. It's one of those things that I've been meaning for a long time to learn how to use. It's just not something that I've actually put a whole lot of time into using. I use the harms on their own quite a bit, but pod on the other hand, not so good about. There we go. I had to find the right menu. Like I said, I don't use the harm pod a whole lot. I actually prefer to do my seed with the F-18. I just find it more comfortable. I like using the JF-17 for it as well, but I figured this is a good opportunity for me to try to improve my skills with the F-16, since it's a module that I have. It's a really cool, really well fleshed out module with lots of bells and whistles and features, and Wild Weasel's kind of what it's known for. So I figure, why not use this opportunity to try to improve my proficiency with it? Based off of what I was seeing, I should pretty easily be able to pick up radar with the harm pod and be able to pass that off to the missile itself. So, we'll see how well I learned it. So, I'm pretty sure that this closer SA-6 shouldn't be there. I think that's in our territory, so I'm going to wait and see if it shoots at us. Because if it's a battery from earlier that's already been disabled and the radar's still active, I don't want to waste the missile on it. So I'm expecting something closer to this SA-6. And we're almost over top of this one. That's got to be within like 10 or so miles, maybe. Well, like I said, we'll see. We're about to fly over it. If it shoots at us, then we have learned our lesson. Says it's ready to fire. I'd rather wait until we get to PGM-1. Although again, we're like right on top of this, so there's that. I may rifle one off it, or I guess Magnum in this case, one off at this, just to see what's down there.
Counter. Tap flare. Tap flare. Counter. Tap flare. Tap flare. Counter. Tap flare.
So it looks like we did hit a radar down there. To be honest, what I should have done is brought a set of bombs, and we could have followed up and taken out some of the launchers.
Counter. Counter. Tap flare. Tap flare. Tap flare.
So we're gonna roll out, then we'll come back in and try to make another approach and hit more of what's down there. I think we'd like to hit that SA-15 next. Should be an SA-15, right? Whatever, we're gonna hit that 15. To be honest, I'm actually kind of bad when it comes to NATO nomenclature for Red Force equipment. I mostly normally refer to things by their national designation. So, you know, I call like an F16 an F16, I call like an SU-27 an SU-27, an R-60 an R-60. Pretty sure we fired at PGM-2 last time, so I think we'll turn in and fire at PGM-2, and then we'll roll out again. So Magnum again. When we do this again, we're definitely bringing some either laser-guided bombs, or we're going to bring some JDAMs so that we can look and see what we're shooting at. So it looks like that was not a good enough lock for us. Wonder if it went quiet. Well, looks like it's time to weave back in and see if we can't go for another shot. We're getting a little bit low on fuel here, so we're going to try to fire these last two off and RTB.
Fat flare. Fat flare. Caution. Caution.
Just over. How unfortunate. See, I don't know what that 15 is that we're locking onto, because there's clearly nothing there. It looked to me like there was still one more search radar up for that site. So what I'm thinking is we will go and land at the forward airbase. We'll try to pick up some more weapons. And with that, come back out, 2 harms, and a set of bombs. Whether they're iron bombs, GPS, or laser guided, it'll just depend on what's available. But what I'm thinking is we'll come back out, we'll hit that site, and ideally we'll destroy as many of the launchers as we can, and we'll get that last radar mast. But seeing as we're at 3,400 pounds of fuel, I could have held one of those harms, and it probably could have flown out and come back in, and admittedly I probably could have flown offset a little bit longer and tried to develop the guidance on it, but you know, like I said, this is really my first time trying to practically use the harm pod, and I know that there's supposed to be a number of other ways that you can use it, So in the future we might explore some more of those. But for now, the results weren't exactly the way that I'd like them to be, but they weren't terrible. Alright, we're about 25 miles out from our forward airbase, and I believe now would be a fantastic time for us to begin our descent. See if anybody's home. There's been an F16 sitting there all day. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be pretty clear when we get there. So no worries. Mansura, Warlock 1-1 inbound for runway 14.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, well that's definitely not in the right spot. I thought I put it at the end of the runway, but I guess I did not. It's fine though. Pretty much where we want to be. Almansura, Warlock 1-1, landing runway 14. That was a little bit rough. I am a little bit more of a Hornet pilot than an F16 pilot, so you'll have to forgive me for my terrible landings. Almansura, Warlock 1-1, clear of runway. Alright. Let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Fantastic, so we can bring some JDAMs. Actually, do they have JSOWs? Nope, no JSOWs, big sad. We actually could do cluster bombs as well, but I think we'll do the JDAMs. Though, let's see. Yes. They're pretty light vehicles, so actually let's see about doing that. Normally I would bring the larger cluster munitions, but, well, yeah, okay, let's bring the larger ones just for funsies. They should be able to seek out and take out what we want. I was just thinking that the smaller clusters might get us better coverage. Actually, can we do multiple? I don't think that they do dual pylons with CBU 105s. Yeah, it looks like... Oh, okay. There we go. Oh wait, that's the other type. Alright, that's what we'll do. We'll bring the smaller ones, because we can bring 4 of them, and that should get us pretty much complete coverage. So we'll go in, we'll try to take out that last search radar with our 2 harms, and then we'll try to follow it up with 4 of our cluster bombs.
Request refueling. Request rearming.
And that will be that.
Copy.
So I will catch you back on the runway when it's time to take off. This F-14 has been sitting here, I swear, since yesterday evening. It's like 4 a.m. here, my time now, and I'm pretty sure that that F-14 was sitting here at like 8 p.m. I hope buddy behind the controls is alright. Mensura, Warlock 1-1, departing runway 32. Alright, so this should be a much shorter hop than last time. So we'll have much more time to play. Mensura, Warlock 1-1, airborne and clear of the runway. You know, sometimes I really wish that we had a shaded visor on this plane. Some of the planes that don't have helmet-mounted sights have them, and let me tell you, they're awesome when you're flying into the sun like this. Let's get our weapons powered up and ready to go, so that when we reach the area, we don't get caught with our pants down. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the reason why we're flying offset like this is so that I don't have to fly straight into the sun and I can block into a pillar.
Target 3-1 to the northeast, with the overhead runway 20, Southgate.
operator. See, it's not an issue until you're trying to literally fly into the sun. I also really wish that we had like one more MFD on this version of the Viper. I really like having 3 of them on the F-18 and on the F-15. I imagine having 4 of them in the backseat of the F-15 must be awesome, but I haven't really played around much in the backseat. Interestingly enough, about 20 miles out, and I don't have anything there. Excuse me. There we go. It's like, hello, targeting pod. Where are we looking? Looks like a mess down there. I know I didn't take the whole site out, though. Although, that certainly did. I mean, without a doubt, there was still stuff alive down there when we left. Alright. We're gonna go out for a bit, turn back in, and try to hit that. Meantime, let's see. Yeah, 1,500 feet should be fine. I wouldn't mind getting slightly more coverage, but it looked like it popped kind of low last time. I'm not gonna lie. Cluster bombs are some of my favorite weapons. They're so cool. I mean, I would hate to get hit by them, and I feel for those out there who have had to endure such things, but they're very cool. Alright. It's another one away. Hopefully we'll be able to hit all three, but I wanted to at least make sure we hit these two since they look like they're more important than that little one. But I can't tell what the little one is. Man, if we miss this explosion because of a cloud, I will be so sad. I feel like that's exactly what's gonna happen. Unless, you know, this thing's going somewhere it shouldn't be. It should not still be that high up. I'm certain that I programmed the target for it, so hopefully I'm just mistaking how far it actually needed to fly. But I don't think we flew that far out. And it does not look like it's guiding. But here we go, it looks like it's going down. Oh no, I guess it is going right, huh, okay. Maybe I just normally drop them going faster. I know I bled a lot of speed in that turn there. Well, this will probably be more fun to watch. Never mind. Boom. Alright. Let's see. I know I should throw it in autopilot whenever I go to watch stuff like that, but most of the time I figure I've got the plane in a safe enough place that it doesn't much matter. It's a very rare day that I get myself killed because I'm watching a bomb. Although I have put myself in some precarious situations because of my foolishness like that before. Alright, let's see. Let's put one, I guess, right on top of that. Can I pop you higher? Let's say 2,000. Okay, let's try that. See, because these are relatively light vehicles, they're all pretty unarmored. What I'm hoping is that if we get a better spread on our clusters, then we'll be able to hit more of them. Now I know that we are dropping this one, like, on top of the middle vehicle. I suppose what we could do...
Turn off traffic, left 11 taxis, runway 18.
Is that a convoy? That is a convoy. Alright. Pay attention, Dirk. I was just like, ooh, piece of candy. Alright, so we're gonna have to come back around to hit our little convoy. Wish I'd seen that from the get-go.
Bingo. Bingo.
Alright. We will come around and we will hit that. I really wish I'd seen that from the get-go. Although, to be honest, those looked like actual tanks, like BMPs and T-72s, and if they do have, like, proper armor down there, the smaller clusters may actually not be able to handle it. Regardless, we're very low on fuel. So as soon as we're in range, we're out of here. Alright.
To left traffic, flash 11, taking off on right 1T.
Looks like that truck might have survived. What a shame. Seems that this is a very target-rich environment. That's some pretty hefty armor out there. Yeah, that cluster's gonna be flying for a while. 1600, huh? Alright, coming out of air to ground. Steer point 4. Watch the bomb from here. Well, we hit the target area. Now, I had hoped to pick up something on the harm pod. I swear that I saw an extra, not an extra, but a second functioning search radar after our first set of harms hit there. So I really expected there to be more air defense. Plus, I know there was an SA-11 not far from there that took me out once, and it sounded like somebody else was talking about an SA-11. But I did not see anything on the harm pod. So with that, I'm going to RTB, refuel, get more bombs, and probably take out that column of vehicles there. I mean, the play might actually be to go Mavericks, but I hate using Mavericks. But that's for future me to sort out. As you can see, even for somebody who's not super proficient with it, the F16 can be a very effective platform. Now, admittedly, I'm a lot more proficient with the F15 and the F18, but this is a very fun plane, and there's a lot you can do with it. I think if I were actually very familiar with the harm pod, I feel like there's a lot that I could do with it that I can't do with the F18, for example. Like, I like the F18 because when you use harms with an F18, and this is true with the JF17 as well, but when you use harms with those two planes, you have methods in place for you to basically lock onto any radar and fire on it. Now, with the harm pod, you can do that with the F16. That's basically what we did there. But if you don't have the harm pod and you're just using the harm itself on the F16, you basically have a series of pages that have different radar codes stored in them, and you basically tab between those to figure out what exactly you're looking at. And you can move listings between the different pages, and depending on how well prepared you are, it's less of an issue, right? But with the F18, I basically just pull up the harm page, and it's kind of like having the harm pod on here, where I just see all of the radar that's in front of the missile, and I can just tab between them and click on the one that I want. Now, the harm pod is awesome because it seems like it actually gives you ranging data, and from what I've read, it also points the targeting pod in that direction, so it makes follow-up and destruction of these targets a lot easier, and it makes sharing their locations a lot easier. Likewise, when I'm dealing with, say, Shilkas, for example, or Gun AA, I really like the F-18's self-defense mode, because you can basically wait until you're close enough that they lock onto you, and then just, boom, missile going right at it. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not the smartest way to deal with harms, or not, well, yes, harms, but with radar targeting you. Like, obviously, it's a lot smarter to just sit up higher and use your T-pod or use your ground search radar or whatever to sit there and find them and deal with them that way. But I've had it before where the cloud deck was really low and I couldn't use a T-pod, and I've had it before where I just wanted to fly by the edge of my seat and do something that might seriously get me killed. And in those cases, I kind of like having a self-protect mode. I feel like the harm usage on the F16 is more big brain and for smart people. Don't get me wrong. It's not like it's difficult to do it this way. It's just it seems more reserved for a cooler head and for more intelligent planned strikes than, say, throwing it into self-protect and just firing at the first thing that locks onto you. And don't get me wrong, you can run all sorts of pre-planned strikes with the F-18 as well. Like, for example, when the Sinai Grayflag first went up, I flew with a 4-ship of F-18s where we were doing pre-planned strikes on, like, SA-2s, and effectively what we were doing, because we knew what we were going for, is bringing a handful of TALDs each, bringing 2 harms each, and pre-briefing the harms for the different radars. So we were targeting a number of different radar arrays, so I think we split 2 different radar arrays between, 2 and 2 of us. And so we didn't actually have to get particularly close. We just had to get close enough to launch the TALDs, let the TALDs get their attention, and then send the harms in to go and do their job. We didn't actually have to detect the radar with our plane and get close enough for them to paint us or anything like that. So you can do smart attacks with the F-18 as well. It's just when I'm flying solo, sometimes I like to do stupid shit. And I think being able to just bring up the harm and point it in a direction and see every radar source in that direction is really convenient. That being said, now that I've actually flown with the F-16's harm targeting system, and I've actually tried using it, this does seem like it's probably superior for just flying out and looking for them, because I actually get a kind of 3-dimensional position for where the target is, whereas with the F-18 I kind of get that, but not really, not to the same extent. It doesn't visualize where in relation to the plane it is as well. Alright, I need to... there we go. I also need to remember what the name of this airfield is. Al Mansura, Warlock 1-1, landing runway 14. I should probably clean up where I've got that mark. Normally I try to put it either in the middle of the airfield or at the end of one of the runways, but I was trying to prepare this kind of quickly, and so I just pulled coordinates from, I guess, close to the airfield. It is what it is. Let's see if we can't make this a cleaner landing than last time. Kind of wobbled there. I'm honestly kind of happy that we didn't squat the plane. It would not be the first time that I've flown an Air Force plane with a more delicate undercarriage and made it shorter than it should be. My first 2 modules in this game were the F-18 and the F-14, so you can imagine that all of my initial landings were pretty hard. So coming over to Air Force planes like the F-16 and the F-15 that are a little bit more delicate sometimes means that I land harder than I would like to. I know you're supposed to like aero brake with the F-16. Look, Ma, get the camera, we're doing it. Alright. So with that, welcome to lovely Al Mansura. It is evening local time. I imagine it's warmer here than it is outside my home, and that makes me a little bit jealous of my pilot. But thanks for sticking with me. I hope you enjoyed our F16 escapade. Admittedly, I would have liked to have destroyed more out there, but for a single ship, I think we did alright. Any mission where we get to come home and land, and especially any outing where we get to land twice, is a good outing in my book. So let me know down below, am I a complete knob who does not know how to use the harm pod? I think I am, but you know, it's a learning experience, we'll get there. Do you guys like using the F16 for your seed strikes, or do you have a preferred aircraft? Let me know down below. As per usual, get out there, kick ass, take names, and win your games.